It's very much a speech about Christmas, about reconciliation, about remembering the few veterans that still survived from the Second World War, from the VE Day and VJ Day celebrations, and talking about his wish for general reconciliation. We know he's very interested in the diverse creeds, if I can put it like that, and it's a message of hope in that respect. It's not at all a personal Christmas message. You won't get any any reminiscences about the year, apart from the visit to the Vatican, which is what he leads off with, and you won't get any updates about his own condition or anything to do with his family, which of course sometimes the Christmas message does include those things. So it's very much a kind of an appeal for reconciliation and peace. He did speak very recently about his cancer, and so maybe he felt that enough had been said. And I think maybe some people will be a bit disappointed that he didn't reminisce a little bit about the year, because the Queen, Elizabeth II, used to very often show clips of them doing different things here and there. I mean, maybe that happens when we actually see the actual broadcast, but it didn't seem to be, it seemed to be more, it had a very, very strong religious input this year. In the last 24 hours, the wonderful sight of the Princess of Wales and her daughter Charlotte playing the piano together in the hall at Windsor Castle, and her message as well, which I thought was really touching and captured Christmas really well. Mother and a daughter playing that lovely Home Sound by Erland Cooper, which is a very wonderful melody. I noticed that people have been online to listen to that, and I think that's going to go viral. But there's something, I don't know, I think her carol service has been incredibly successful in sort of unifying the nation and respecting all the people who do all the work, the voluntary services and so forth, which of course the King again mentions in his speech. I mean, as you know, the world is a very troubled place, and he recognizes that, and it's incredible, the people who go out and do the most amazing things under very, very dangerous circumstances to help others, very often in great peril to their own lives, and that he recognizes. And he also spoke, of course, about how incredibly young the soldiers were who fought in the Second World War. Many of them who died to secure world peace, were only sort of 18, 19, 20 years old. The awful thing is that in the 20th century, there were two very major world wars in which a lot of people lost their lives. And, you do sometimes wonder what was achieved by that. I mean, obviously, you have to if there are aggressors, you have to stand up against them. And we all understand that. But anything that can be done to solve matters in a more peaceful way is a good thing. And he mentions the Commonwealth. I mean, the Commonwealth has many advantages in that young people all across the Commonwealth do come together to play sport with each other. A brilliant way of competing, and for different nations to get to know each other and to realize, that there's a lot of common ground. And the more we all get to know each other and to act peacefully together, the better. But then, I say these things, but it seems to me that there's still plenty of aggressors who will then pop up and wish to cause enormous trouble. And I don't need to spell out all the things that are going wrong in the world and the tremendous danger that there is everywhere, even on the streets of London. Let's hope that people do listen to him and and think about it. And a lot of people do watch the Christmas broadcast, and I noticed that there was an enormous crowds coming out to see the King and the royal family, such as they are now, going to church. Sandringham, no lack of enthusiasm there, and the Christmas broadcast is a moment when many people in this country and across the Commonwealth are sitting down with their families and listening, and so let's hope it has a good effect. It certainly was well worth him saying it, no question about that. The Vatican visit was extremely important, and what was rather interesting was that when his cousin's wife, the Duchess of Kent, died aged 92 in September. He attended a requiem mass in Westminster Cathedral. I was actually there in the cathedral, and it was very interesting that the Pope sent a message directly, first to the King and secondly to the Duke of Kent, about the Duchess of Kent. And it was an extraordinary mixture of high Catholic service with all that that implies, also mixed in with what you might call the royal ceremonial Protestant side. In other words, there was also a piper, two verses of the national anthem, and things like that. And very shortly afterwards, he had the opportunity to go to the Vatican. And I do know that he, well, we all know basically that he's very keen on all the religions getting together, because a lot of wars and conflicts in the past have been fought over the issue of religion. So, to have that opportunity to go and see the Pope, which he had tried to do earlier, but the other Pope was dying, and it wasn't possible to do it in that way. With the new Pope, this is all fantastic and really good, and so I can well understand why he led off with that. He has to remind us of the importance of reconciliation and peace. It seems to me that there's always going to be aggressors who are going to cause trouble and will need to be contained one way or another. And as I say, you don't really need me to tell you of all the different places in the world where there is conflict at this moment. We're living in very difficult times, and with modern warfare also getting so, with the use of scientific weapons, those sorts of things, it's all very dangerous and very toxic. So, I just let's hope for the best. Basically, Christmas Day is a good time to think about these things.